Now on KOAM News at 5, 3 new bronze statues are unveiled at Joplin's Mercy Park.
Could Congress reach a deal on President Biden's Build Back Better legislative agenda this week? I'm Deborah Alfarone on Capitol Hill with the latest on the negotiations.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Temperatures are starting to dip as we move past the weekend's severe weather threats. This is KOAM News at 5. Turn first to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, quite a bit cooler for us today compared to what we have seen over the past couple days. We had the line of showers and thunderstorms that rolled through yesterday. That system is out of here, but we still have some clouds sticking around. So we have partly cloudy skies. That's what we're going to see as we go through the evening hours. And then already here's our next storm system out across the western parts of the Rockies, and that will start to affect us by the time we head into tomorrow, late tomorrow, Wednesday, and then even into Thursday. Temperatures kind of cool. Right now we're sitting into the upper 50s to lower 60s once you get into Kansas and also Oklahoma. With these kind of northerly winds kind of ushering in that little bit cooler air, the winds are going to switch out of the south for us later on tonight. And what that's going to do is allow our temperatures to start to warm back up for us tomorrow. But a chilly night, we're going to drop back through the 50s into the 40s eventually. Low to mid 40s later on tonight. Of course, we're going to look at that next storm system here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Cherokee County, Kansas Sheriff's Office announces some road closures along highways. First, Highway 400 just east of Cherokee is closed and will remain closed through Wednesday as crews repair a railroad crossing. Also, Route 66 just east of the Riverton stoplight will be closed from 9 to 10 tomorrow morning. Local Rotary clubs today unveiled new statues in the Rotary Sculpture Garden of Joplin's Mercy Park. There were 12 bronze sculptures in the park. Now there are 3 more. The new statues are called Whimsical Nature of a Little Girl, The Face of Strength in an Osage Woman, and The Brotherhood of 3 Young Boys.
It's a great park. It's starting to mature now, and then add the sculptures, just another element. The whole idea is to bring people to Joplin, and while you're here, come out and enjoy the park, enjoy the sculptures, and like I said, we'll keep adding to it.
The Sculpture Garden is a joint effort by the Rotary Club of Joplin and the Joplin Daybreak Rotary. President Biden's self-imposed deadline for passage of his sweeping Build Back Better legislative agenda is fast approaching, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says Democrats are close to a deal. Reporter Deborah Alfarone is on Capitol Hill with the latest outlook on the Build Back Better negotiations.
President Biden stopped off at a train maintenance station in New Jersey to sell the benefits of his Build Back Better plan.
When we make these investments, there's going to be no stopping America. We will own the future. This initiative is about betting on America, about believing in America, about believing in the American people.
Earlier, he met with pre-K students at a Plainfield, New Jersey elementary school. Universal pre-K is one of the elements of his nearly $2 trillion agenda.
We wish he could stay all day.
But he has a job to do.
But he has a very important job to do, right?
A big part of his job includes getting holdout Democratic senators Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin on board with the spending bill. Biden held talks with Manchin at his Delaware home over the weekend, and both sides say a deal could come this week.
We're all working in good faith. I've been talking to everybody, as you know, and I think that we've got a good understanding of each other now, better than we've ever had.
Senator Manchin says he's holding firm at only wanting to spend $1.5 trillion. That's down significantly from the original $3.5 trillion price tag.
But it's uncertain if progressive Democrats in the House will agree to the lower dollar figure. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she wants a vote on both the spending bill and the roughly $1 trillion infrastructure package this week.
Be very, very positive to get it done before the trip. Thank you.
President Biden is scheduled to take a trip to Europe Thursday, and he wants a deal done before he leaves. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Among the stops in Europe is a climate summit in Glasgow, Scotland. The Build Back Better plan includes climate change initiatives, which the president hopes to tout to world leaders. California is experiencing some of its worst weather in years. Experts call it a bomb cyclone that's lashing the West Coast with high winds, relentless rain, and even heavy snowfall in the mountains. Although the moisture is desperately needed, it's also bringing with it damage and dangerous conditions. In Northern California, some streets are underwater or covered by mudslides in areas burned by summer wildfires. The Biden administration is launching a new effort to encourage private individuals to help sponsor Afghan evacuees trying to resettle into communities nationwide. The Sponsor Circle program is based on a popular private refugee sponsorship program in Canada. The new program in the U.S. would allow groups of at least 5 individuals to apply to become a team that would help Afghan evacuees with needs including housing, financial support, and medical services for at least 90 days. Coming up in Health Watch, new guidelines on treating appendicitis.
And appendicitis used to mean emergency surgery, but for many, there's another option. I'm Elise Preston with a look at a newly accepted treatment to keep some patients out of the operating room.
And later, the latest on a global shipping logjam affecting businesses and consumers in the U.S. Topping today's Health Watch, millions of children in the U.S. could be eligible for Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine as soon as next week. An FDA panel meets tomorrow to consider recommending emergency use authorization for children ages 5 to 11, followed by a CDC vote next week. Now, if approved, vaccines could soon roll out to pediatricians' offices and even schools. COVID-19 lockdowns lead to a sharp increase in bicycle-related injuries, according to reports from 4 trauma centers around the country. Cases involving bicycle accidents doubled during the height of the pandemic. Researchers attribute the spike to more people using bikes to get around or for exercise. The study also found that trauma cases from car crashes decreased during lockdowns. It's the most common emergency surgical procedure in the U.S., appendectomy for appendicitis. Now there's mounting evidence that some patients can avoid or delay removing the appendix and receive treatment with antibiotics instead. Reporter Elise Preston has more on the latest research and a patient who was given the option.
5 years ago, Heather Van Dusen ended up in the emergency room at University of Washington Medical Center.
I was in really terrible pain, more pain than I had ever really felt with stomach issues before. So much so that I wanted to vomit.
The diagnosis, appendicitis, which typically meant urgent surgery to remove the infected or inflamed appendix. Now, the latest research has led the American College of Surgeons to say antibiotics can be a first-line treatment for many patients.
If you have appendicitis and present to the emergency department, you have treatment options from surgery or for antibiotics.
Dr. Gianna Davidson of UW Medicine is a co-author on the largest ever randomized clinical trial of appendicitis treatment. 1,500 patients received either an appendectomy or antibiotics. In the first 3 months, nearly 7 in 10 patients in the antibiotic group avoided surgery. 4 years out, just under half of patients in the antibiotic group had surgery. Researchers have created this online tool to help patients and surgeons discuss the pros and cons of each approach based on the current data.
We're hoping that helps empower people to have discussions with their surgeons about the treatment option that makes the most sense for them at that moment.
Heather chose antibiotics over an appendectomy.
They didn't make me feel the greatest. I was really tired. It had like a weird metallic taste. But after I finished the course of antibiotics, fine. I'm like, my life went back to normal. I have not had another episode.
She avoided surgery and is grateful she was able to make an informed decision about her health. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
You can find a link to that online tool on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The UW clinical trial did not include children, but researchers say other studies are looking at whether antibiotics could work for pediatric patients. Long-term survivors of childhood cancer may face an elevated risk of suicide. A study from the Washington University and St. Louis School of Medicine found cancer survivors older than 28 had about twice the number of suicides as the general population. However, the risk was still low, with only 2 suicides per 10,000 people per year. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, a new report from the United Nations says greenhouse gas emissions worldwide have hit a record high.
Plus, it looks like more showers and thunderstorms entering the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a much nicer day for us today. We didn't have to deal with any thunderstorms or a severe threat across the region. We've had partly sunny skies, quite a bit cooler than what we saw over the weekend, but a chance to dry out just a bit. We got a lot of rain, a whole bunch of rain, especially Friday night into Saturday morning. For the month, approaching 6 inches of rain. For the year, we're over 44 inches. We averaged 38, so by over 5 inches, we're above our average for this time of the year. Look at our 24-hour temperature change. Most of us are about 10 to 15 degrees cooler right now than what we were at this time yesterday. And you can see most of us are sitting mid to upper 50s. And then once you get into Kansas and Oklahoma, then we pop up into lower 60s, but quite a bit cooler than even our average high. Our average high is about 65 degrees for this time of the year. Currently outside, sitting at 58. Winds are pretty much calm. Relative humidity is at 70%. Through the evening hours, we're going to slide back through the 50s, eventually into the mid 40s a little bit later on tonight. So kind of chilly across the region. We do have some clouds, some mid and upper level clouds that have been streaming through. Nothing underneath these clouds, so we look good. Really, the entire Central Plains looks pretty good behind the storm system that gave us the showers and thunderstorms yesterday. Little ridge of high pressure. This is going to roll in for us tomorrow, and then right behind it tomorrow night, Wednesday into Thursday. Here's our next storm system, and that storm system will give us a decent amount of rain once again by the time we head into the middle of the week. Let's go through time for us tonight. See how the winds slowly switch back toward the southeast. By the morning hours, we'll drop back into the mid 40s. We are going to get some clouds in here during the morning hours, and we may get a few random sprinkles in here late morning into the early afternoon. Not a big deal, but a few random sprinkles. We'll get southerly winds as we go through the day, and this will help us pop into the 70s for highs, so quite a bit warmer than what we are seeing now. Chilly start, 46, 66 by noon. High temp right around 74, south winds at about 5 to 15, and again, kind of in and out of the clouds and a few random sprinkles throughout the day. Tomorrow night, clouds increase. You can see showers and thunderstorms out to our west. Those are going to be severe. They won't be severe by the time they make it here late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, but some of them could be strong. Periods of showers and thunderstorms. So this is Wednesday morning. Wednesday is really just going to be a washout. The whole entire day we're going to have rounds of showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. You can see our temperatures kind of hold near 60. So this is Wednesday afternoon. We go into Wednesday evening, showers, thunderstorms continue, and then Wednesday night we get on the backside of this system and we just get good old rain all the way into Thursday morning. So another pretty big system rolling in. So with this next system, I think a lot of areas are going to pick up probably close to another inch, maybe an inch and a half of rain in spots. So another very wet system which is going to roll in. 74 for us tomorrow. Again, we may get a sprinkle or two. 60 on Wednesday, showers and thunderstorms, and then 55 on Thursday with rain in the morning, and then quite a bit cooler the rest of this week, only 59 on Friday. But look at the weekend heading into Halloween. Not too bad, partly sunny, temperatures into the 60s.
A nice weekend.
Yeah,
would be
looks
nice.
pretty good.
Thanks, Doug. A new United Nations report says greenhouse gases in the atmosphere have reached a record high. According to the World Meteorological Organization's annual greenhouse gas bulletin, the concentration of carbon dioxide was 149% higher in 2020 than before widespread industrialization. The last time CO2 levels were this high, 3 to 5 million years ago, when it was up to 3 Celsius degrees warmer and water levels were up to 20 meters higher. Coming up, U.S. business economists are lowering their expectations about next year's growth. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Lee Thornbrew served in the U.S. Army during World War II. The Bartlesville, Oklahoma native was stationed in the Philippines and in Japan. And we salute Private First Class Lee Thornbrew, a four-state hero. In Consumer Watch, the nation's business economists are less optimistic about next year's growth. A National Association for Business Economics survey found 66% of members expect the economy will grow between 3 and 5.9% next year, while 28% are expecting lower and slower growth. The rising pessimism is due to snarled supply chains and lingering concerns over COVID-19. A strike is looming at McDonald's. Employees in at least 10 cities plan to strike over the fast food chain's handling of sexual harassment in the workplace. Last month, one suit was filed against the company alleging a manager raped a teen employee in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the EEOC filed a lawsuit in September accusing a McDonald's franchisee of not properly addressing accusations of sexual harassment at nearly 24 locations across the country. The global traffic jam of ships carrying goods is affecting consumers and businesses all across America. Companies are also finding it difficult to hire warehouse workers and truck drivers. Reporter Carter Evans shows us how some businesses are being pushed to the brink.
Instead of being $39.99 retail, now it's officially $54.99.
Outdoor toy maker Ed O'Brien is raising prices on some of his most popular products.
You don't think people will want to pay that for this?
I do not think people will pay that. We will lose most of our sales on this item now due to the retail price.
But he says he has no choice. Because of the port backlog, he's paying more for shipping than ever before.
The cost for a container shipping out of China was $6,500 from China to Denver.
How much is it now?
It's $30,000.
How much have you lost this year?
We have faced over $2 million of unexpected expenses.
His company's now on track for a 40% decline in sales. Nationwide, suppliers can't get items to stores fast enough, in part because there's a shortage of warehouse workers and truck drivers, with more than 500,000 job openings.
Companies almost certainly won't be able to fill all the roles they hope to this holiday season.
Andy Challenger with outplacement firm Challenger Gray and Christmas says companies are trying to entice workers. Amazon is offering signing bonuses up to $3,000 and starting wages up to $22.50 an hour. Walmart and Target are offering free college tuition.
What it's mostly doing is hiring away workers from their competitors, and that's why we're seeing some of the highest quits rates that the country's ever recorded.
For Ed O'Brien, there are even bigger concerns if things don't turn around.
We've already had a round of layoffs, and I obviously would expect more the way that it's going.
Carter Evans, CBS News, Denver, Colorado.
Tesla's latest self-driving software has hit a speed bump less than a day after its release. Chief Executive Elon Musk tweeted the full self-driving beta software is being temporarily pulled due to software issues. The action comes after users complained of false collision warnings and other problems. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, new allegations that Facebook put profits over user safety. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have information on damage from a suspected tornado along the state line between Missouri and Illinois. Plus, officials with 2 Oklahoma cities are joining a request for the Supreme Court overturn of the McGirt ruling. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. This is Red Ribbon Week, an annual campaign raising awareness about alcohol, tobacco, drug, and violence prevention. McDonald County Schools are taking part, having students blow away drugs. To do that, kindergarten through 2nd grade students took part in a bubble blowing activity.
We wanted to find a way to promote healthy bodies and just using our outside brains, and so we thought we would come out as a school and blow bubbles together and get a little sunshine.
Students also received activity sheets with conversation starters so they can talk to their parents about staying drug-free. Weather okay for that event. It is going to be cooler this week.
Yeah, it is going to be quite a bit cooler compared to what we did see last week. Chilly for us tonight. We drop back into low to mid 40s. 74 tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a pretty good day. We are going to have a lot of clouds and we may get a few sprinkles in here, but in general, a pretty good day. Showers, thunderstorms back in late tomorrow night. Wednesday's just really a washout, and then showers sticking around into Thursday morning.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.